This video will show school and childcare staff, as well as environmental consultants, how to take a lead sample in a school or childcare facility under the model plan. Gather the following supplies you'll need before you start sampling: clean sample bottles from the laboratory, a chain of custody form, something to write with, and clean hands or gloves. The water should be used as normal the day before sampling. Don't sample the day after a weekend or school break. Sampling right away in the morning works well. This will give a good idea of the level of lead in the water after sitting unused overnight. Regardless of when you take the sample, do not use the water 8 to 18 hours beforehand. Take the sample from any place the water is used for cooking or drinking, such as a sink. This includes bathroom and classroom sinks if those fixtures are being used for drinking or filling water bottles. You are now prepared to take a lead in drinking water sample. Verify that the sample bottle label matches the fixture you are at. When you're ready to take the sample, remove the cap from the bottle and carefully set it aside with the inside of the cap facing up. Position the bottle under the faucet. Slowly turn on the cold water. Follow the laboratory instructions for filling the bottle. Fill the bottle to the neck or shoulder. The lab will not be able to use your sample if the bottle is not filled correctly. Carefully screw the cap back on the bottle, making sure the cap is secure. Turn the bottle upside down. The bottle should not leak. It is a good idea to tape the cap to the bottle to prevent the cap from loosening and leaking during transit. If the bottle leaks in transit, you will need to resample. Write the date and time the water sample was collected on the label. On the top of the chain of custody form, write the name and contact information of the person who collected the sample. Make sure to include the date, time, sample location, as well as any other required information. Sign and date the bottom of the chain of custody form. Some schools and childcare facilities might need or want to take a flushed sample. A flushed sample helps us figure out if the lead in the water is coming from the plumbing behind the fixture, and if flushing will help reduce lead in the water. Some sites take a flushed sample, or more than one, to make sure their lead prevention actions are working. Others take a flushed sample in response to a high lead result. If you are collecting an initial first draw and a flushed sample, make sure to label the bottles accordingly. Collect an initial first draw sample as described previously. To take a flushed sample, leave the water running for 30 seconds. Fill the flushed sample container. Other fixtures you may be sampling could include an inline coffee maker, a kitchen sink sprayer, or an ice machine. If sampling from an ice machine, fill a sample bottle 3/4 full of ice using a plastic scoop or clean disposable gloves to prevent contamination of the sample. If you have any questions about the sampling process, speak with the partner you have been working with or contact the Minnesota Department of Health for assistance. Thank you for participating. Your samples will help make sure that drinking water in Minnesota is safe. For questions on procedures or grant opportunities, contact the Minnesota Department of Health.